Question 1, we have 1.1, whereby we are supposed to solve for x. And with 1.1, we have 1.1.1. And there we are given a quadratic equation. And with that quadratic equation, we're supposed to solve for x. So 1.1.1, we have 2x squared plus x minus 3 equal to a 0. So how do we solve for x in this quadratic equation? In order to solve for x in this case, we'll use one method which is called factorizing. So how are we going to factorize this quadratic equation? The first thing we'll do is multiply the coefficient of the leading factor and the constant. That is 2 and negative 3. So 2 multiplied by negative 3, that is a negative 6. So the next thing is finding the factors of 6. So factors of 6, we have 1 and 6. We have 2 and 3. So these are the factors we will use to factorize this. But how? We have to pick a pair, and with that pair, when multiplied, it has to give us an answer of a negative 6, but also give us an answer of negative 1, which is the coefficient of this x, when we add the two factors in the pair. So I think we can use this pair, and the 2 has to be negative. Why? Because negative 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to a negative 6. Also, negative 2 plus 3 is equal to a positive 1, which is the coefficient of this x. So how are we going to use these two factors? So this is what we will do. We will distribute these two factors to come up with this x. If there is confusing, watch as I do this. So we'll rewrite this. So the first term is 2x squared. But now we will not write the plus x. We will use the factors to get plus x. So first we have minus 2. But here we will write minus 2x. And then we have a positive 3. So we will write plus 3x. Why? Because negative 2x plus 3x is equal to a plus x. So technically we haven't changed anything. It's just the same. We just used our two vectors. And then we bring down the minus 3. So minus 3 here, and we have equal to 0. The next thing we'll do is factorize, because we haven't started factorizing. So we'll factorize by grouping. We'll group the first two terms and the last two terms. So with the first two terms, we have a common factor, which is 2x. So we'll factor out 2x, and then we open a bracket. To get 2x squared, we have to multiply 2x with a what? With an x. And next we have minus 2x. So to get minus 2x, we have to multiply this with a minus 1. And then we close the bracket because we factorize by grouping. And then we move on to the next group, which is these two terms. So with these two terms, what's the common factor? The common factor here is 3. So we will have a positive 3 factored out. So we open a bracket, and then to get 3x, we have to multiply the 3 with an x. So we have to place an x there. And then we have minus 3 here. So to get negative 3, we have to multiply the positive 3 with m minus 1. We close the bracket, and that is equal to a 0. So now we have 2x, bracket x minus 1, and plus 3, bracket x minus 1 equal to 0. So how do we do this? we take the terms that we have factored out, which is 2x and 3, and place them in one bracket. So we'll have 2x plus 3, close bracket, and then we have the common bracket, which is x minus 1, and here, and here. So we'll just take it and place it here, x minus 1, and all this is equal to 0. So that is just how we factorize this. So the first step is we have factorized, but the question required us to solve for x. So let us solve for x now. So the first bracket, we have 2x plus 3, so we'll have 2x plus 3 equal to 0, or x minus 1, which is the second bracket, and have it equal to 0 as well. The next step here is to make x the subject of the formula. So how will we do that? This side will have to take the positive 3 from the left hand side to the right hand side. So we'll have to subtract 3 here and also subtract 3 here. This will be equal to 0, such that 2x will be equal to 0 minus 3, that is a negative 3. This side we have x minus 1 equal to 0. To make the subject of the formula, to make x the subject of the formula, we have to take the minus 1 from the left hand side to the right hand side. So we'll do that by adding 1. Also add 1 on the right hand side. This will be equal to 0, such that x is equal to a positive 1. This side we're still not done because x is not a subject of the formula, so we'll have to divide by 2 both sides. This will cancel this, and then x is equal to a negative 3 over 2. So x is equal to negative 3 over 2, or x is equal to a positive 1. And that is just how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, next we have 1.1.2.